Welcome, adventurers! In this video, we are going to take a look at the Dragonborn, the Half-Orc, and the Duergar in the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons. The purpose of this video is to give you an idea of what to expect for these races and this sub-race upon the release of Baldur's Gate 3. However, I will not go over the racial ability score bonuses, I will only show them on screen. That's because in Baldur's Gate 3, every races and sub-races will get a +2 and a +1 bonus points that you can allocate to two different ability scores of your choice. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. First, we are going to take a look at the Dragonborn. Their base racial speed is 9 meters, and they have the features Draconic Ancestry, Breath Weapon, and Damage Resistance. Draconic Ancestry makes you choose a type of dragon from this table. Your Breath Weapon and Damage Resistance are determined by the dragon type as shown in the table. With Breath Weapon, you can use your action to exhale destructive energy. Your Draconic Ancestry determines the size, shape, and damage type of the exhalation. When you use your Breath Weapon, each creature in the area of the exhalation must make a saving throw, the type of which is determined by your Draconic Ancestry. The DC for this saving throw equals 8 plus your Constitution modifier plus your Proficiency bonus. A creature takes 2d6 damage on a failed save and half as much damage on a successful one. The damage increases to 3d6 at level 6 and 4d6 at level 11. After you use your Breath Weapon, you can't use it again until you complete a short or long rest. During the last panel from Hell, we saw this feature in action. This is the Fire Breath Weapon.
I'm also going to show some Dragonborn stuff, and I'm going to burn this one with my breath.
Oh yeah, because that's a racial trait that you get as a Dragonborn, yeah, okay.
It has the shape of a cone, suggesting that it's from the Gold Dragon Ancestry. And this is the Frost Breath Weapon.
Actually, you know what, let's do some Dragon Breath. See how they like that.
As you can see, it says that it recharges on a long rest. However, let's not jump to conclusions. I just don't see why they would have nerfed it. And the last feature they get is Damage Resistance, which gives you resistance to the damage type associated with your Draconic Ancestry. Now let's take a look at the Half-Orc. Their base racial speed is 9 meters, and they have the features Dark Vision, Menacing, Relentless Endurance, and Savage Attacks. With Dark Vision, you can see in the dark up to 12 meters. With Menacing, you gain proficiency in the Intimidation skill. With Relentless Endurance, when you are reduced to 0 hit points, but not killed outright, you drop to 1 hit point instead. You can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. And with Savage Attacks, when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon attack, you roll one of the weapon's damage dice one additional time and add it to the extra damage of the critical hit. And lastly, we are going to take a look at the Duergar subrace, also known as the Grey Dwarves. Their base racial speed is 7.5 meters, and they have the features Superior Dark Vision, Duergar Resilience, Duergar Magic, and Sunlight Sensitivity. With Superior Dark Vision, you can see in the dark up to 24 meters. With the feature Duergar Resilience, you have advantage on saving throws against poison, and you have resistance against poison damage. You also have advantage on saving throws against illusions and against being charmed or paralyzed. With Duergar Magic, when you reach level 3, you can cast the Enlarge Reduce spell on yourself once with this trait, using only the spell's Enlarge option. When you reach level 5, you can cast the Invisibility spell on yourself once with this trait. You don't need material components for either spells, and you can't cast them while you're in direct sunlight, although sunlight has no effect on them once cast. You regain the ability to cast these spells with this trait when you finish a long rest. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for these spells. In Baldur's Gate 3, material components were not implemented, and also I doubt that you won't be able to cast these spells in direct sunlight. But we never know. And with sunlight sensitivity, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and perception checks that relies on sight when you, the target of your attack, or whatever you are trying to perceive is in direct sunlight. As you can imagine, this would make the Duergar a lot worse than the other options in many situations, and for that reason, I have a strong feeling that this feature won't make its way into the game. However, I could be wrong. That's it for this video. Farewell, adventurers.